In theater, you start with a story, and that story is sort of the guiding principle of all of the choices that you make. So living inside of that storytelling space and trying to serve it as an artist is really motivating for me. I actually always feel this sort of rush of excitement about the fact that we're going to do something and it's going to exist in this live format. Every night will be somewhat different because it's about live performance. And then when the show's over, it's gone. I would say from an early age I showed an interest in visual arts, also in singing and performance and theater and things like that. And then I went to the North Carolina School of the Arts and I studied set design. I was a senior, I was about to graduate, and the Guthrie Theater came to a job fair. And I was hired to come out to the Guthrie as associate prop manager. And I was at the Guthrie a couple of seasons and then I launched a freelance career here. After I left the Guthrie, I took on a lot of work at Mixed Blood. I also began doing some work at Park Square. Eventually, I began working at the Children's Theater Company, the Ordway, Theater La Teda. At this point, I've worked at most of the sort of mid to large size theaters. After I started designing a lot for different theaters, I also started working for some corporate clients doing event designs. And then I also got into this museum exhibit world, both as a painter and as a designer. And now my career has evolved so that I really am just doing theater work and museum work. This is a scale model of the Sportsology exhibit, a new experience that will be permanent at the Science Museum of Minnesota. This is a great example of the kind of design work that I do for other museum exhibits that are created here. So one thing that goes into decision-making about materials in exhibit design isn't just the color and the glossiness and so forth, but there's a lot of sensitivity and durability issues that factor into these exhibits, so it really limits the materials that we can use. Museum design work and theater design work are similar in that I'm designing environments that are about an experience. You know, I think space is a huge part of that, making people feel like they're in a space that is beyond what they can do in their own bubble. They want to sort of access something that's bigger than that. I love modeling. I don't hand draft any longer. I mean, for years I hand drafted my shows and now I draft everything on the computer. Having a three-dimensional model and really being able to sort of understand what it's like to be inside that space, it is just not the same in a digital version. It doesn't feel the same. On this project, 6 Degrees of Separation with Theater La Teda, it became apparent early on that the set dressing for this project was really critical in setting us in a very upscale apartment in Manhattan. So I got the idea to contact some friends that have beautiful art and see if they would be willing to loan us some things. Hi, Wynn.
Hi there.
Hi, Bob.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
Come in.
Hello, welcome.
Peter and I and Abby are going to my friend Bob and Wynn's house to check out art and also their plants and all sorts of things. The play takes place in 1990, but we wanted to give the space a feel that was very sort of mid-century, very classic. Abby's with us today because she is the brainpower behind all of this and she's going to keep us organized. And Peter is here because Peter has excellent taste, and after all, he's the director. Okay, so this was the one that I was talking about going in that alcove. That is cool. This feels like tons of texture here, but on stage, actually, everything is going to get so much more knocked down. This would be a good hanging one, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's just a hair over 7 feet.
A cactus makes so much sense. It's New York in the wintertime. You know what I mean? Like, this is clearly not indigenous to their neighborhood.
Theatre La Ceda is a company that I've had a relationship with now for a number of years, and Peter Rothstein is certainly like a major artistic partner for me.
A diptych is interesting, I think, though,
I know.
for those side, please, or...
I have one in there, yeah. And I was imagining the one that's in the living room because I like the colors in that one, but I like that as well.
You know what I love about working with Kate is that she brings to the table a ton of research at the beginning. I've met with some designers where they bring a model of the set, the first rehearsal, and then I'm like, whoa, you know, then I feel like what I'm doing is I'm critiquing the work they've done rather than collaborating and creating something together.
Oh, I want to measure that tiny one.
In the kitchen, there's the better one.
Okay.
I'm not sure that's even done.
Well, we will decide.
One, two, three.
Great. Today, we're going to spend the first part of the day on stage doing a bunch of notes. There's going to be lots of departments sharing the space, electrics and sound and scenery, paint, props. And then the actors will be on our tails showing up around midday, and then we'll begin a rehearsal. This is just a little cover that's going to go over all of the feet of the sofa. This is a good lesson in how to use tricks to make things look way more expensive than they really were. In the role of set designer, I provide the schematics to the people that are going to build the set, and I also provide a lot of information to the scenic artist and the prop manager. And in those two departments in particular, it's really fun when you can collaborate with people that have a real sense of play and sort of are artists in their own right and really want to contribute as well. When I think about designs that stand out in my mind as being really sort of iconic images in my portfolio, I think designs that are overtly sort of psychological or designs that feel like a bigger gesture are probably designs that stand out in my mind as being, I don't know, they just stand out. I don't know that they're my favorite designs, but I think minimalism is actually quite difficult. It's easier to throw a ton of layers all on top of each other and have it look like something interesting.
Tell them.
I am shaking.
You have to do something.
It's up.
Is anything gone?
How can I look? I'm shaking.
Did he take anything?
Would you concentrate on yourself?
I want to know if anything's gone.
A few years ago, Peter and I were talking about shows for the season, and I had been kind of thinking about whether or not Peter might at some point let me assist him as a director. So I approached him with it, and he jumped on it, and the rest is history. Now that's sort of how we work.
We weren't auditioning. I just kept thinking $2 million, $2 million.
It's like when someone says, don't think about elephants, and all you can think about is elephants, elephants, elephants.
$2 million, $2 million.
When you're on a Kate Sutton-Johnson set, your work is elevated. My work is elevated. I'm a better actor because that's the environment I get to perform and process in as we move through it and move to performance.
He's in for $2 million.
$2 million?
He says the Cezanne is a great investment. We should get it for $6 million and sell it to the Tokyo Bunch for 10.
Happy day!
Working in this field ticks a lot of boxes for me. There's so many ways I can immerse myself in these projects that allow me to grow. I think the more experienced I get and the more I feel like I can do that well, the more exciting it becomes.